Good morning. This is October the 10th, Tuesday, 2023. And we are moving with the presentation. We have a student here, and I'll call him a presentation, and let's listen to him. Yes, sir.
Hello everyone, I'm Adarsha and I'm here to present the essay Rhymes with Fun Jew Free by Manjushri Thapa. In this essay, Manjushri Thapa provides a vivid and personal account of her life and culture.
Have a louder voice so that we can hear you.
Hey.
Make sure you have a loud voice because we need to hear you.
Manjushri Thapa's essay provides a vivid and personal account of her life experiences and cultural identity.
She provides vivid account of her life, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right there. Account of life. Right, account of life.
Account of life.
Okay, now tell the class what about her life does she describe in this text? Go on.
She describes about what difficulties she felt.
This is about what? Physical?
No, that difficulties.
Okay, difficulties. What difficulties does he talk about? You watch it. Hey, what I'm doing, I'm questioning him, right? To make sure he has gone through the text. This is the challenge for you. When you come, I'll be there asking you questions. Say, go on, go on, go on. No problem, go on.
She explains the difficulties that she felt.
Okay, fine, good, good. Yeah. She explains difficulties she felt. Good. First difficulty is she goes to clinic and the receptionist does not pronounce her name correctly. Right?
Yeah.
And the whole story begins from here. Good, move ahead. Fix up, move ahead. So the scene opens in a clinic, right? And there is a lady who pronounced Manjori, Tapas, right? Mm-hmm. And she says, yes, hello, this is me. And then she remembers the whole life story and goes in the past. And she starts recalling her life right from 3 years old. And she tells how she lived with people. She came home. Okay, tell the story now. Whatever you remember. No problem. Tell as you remember.
Thapa begins by describing her early years in multicultural Canada.
Good. Early multicultural years in Canada, where she talks about Dara, the girl with whom she used to play in her home when her brother, sister went to school. And she talks about Kathy, right? The neighbor girl with whom she talked with sign language, pantomime. Yes, go on.
She highlights the challenges of having unique name.
Okay, challenges of having unique names she highlights. What is that challenge? What happens when you have a unique name? What's your name?
Adarsha.
Yours is easier to pronounce, I guess. Yeah. Foreigners can easily pronounce. So what is the difficulty when you have a unique name? Foreign people might mispronounce your name. As he was saying, Bigyan was saying, when they pronounced my name, Bigyan, I was angry, right? It's natural, right? So, look, when people may mispronounce your name. Yes, then?
And then she develops a sense of empathy for receptionists.
She develops a sense of empathy. What is empathy?
Kind of feeling.
You say that she develops a sense of empathy. Fine. Give an example of empathy. Give an example of empathy from this story. You said she develops a sense of empathy. Fine. Can we have an example? Okay,
Correct.
what do you mean by empathy?
Feeling.
Okay, fine, leave.
Different.
Move ahead. Feeling, what kind of feeling? Sympathy, empathy. Empathy, you place yourself in other people's shoes and you understand how they might be feeling in this situation. I'm here, so I'm presenting. Now look, I have empathy with you. I understand your difficulties because I remember the first presentation I made in 1986. I made first presentation 1986. Now standing here, I can place myself in your shoes and understand the difficulties you have as a student, as a learner, because I can empathize with you. Now sympathy is, I feel kind to you now and start helping. Look what I'm doing. I'm helping you. Yes, go on. You can consult the page and tell us. No problem. Presentations are quite challenging.
This essay delves into the tension between writer's desire for personal freedom and the traditional expectation.
Wonderful. You said something very important. You said this essay develops into a conflict between writer's desire and
traditional expectation.
and traditional expectations.
Yeah.
At one point, her mother says, no, you cannot have a boyfriend. Her mother says, no, you cannot wear makeup before marriage. Yeah, she says you can't wear makeup before marriage. When she has first means, there is a celebration and she is kept in the father's lap. And father keeps her in the lap and says, from today you are a woman. And she says, I felt mortified at this moment. I felt so bad. I felt mortified. I could not tell my daddy, don't do this. But daddy kept me on his lap and declared, you are a woman from today. I felt as if somebody was killing me. Conflict between your desires and tradition. Wonderful. Good point. Right there. Conflict between individual's desire and social customs. Yes, this is really this element. Conflict between one person and one. She says, I wanted to be like a boy. So what I did, I wore a lumberjack to make sure people don't see my body and know I'm a girl. And I felt awkward when I did it. I felt, oh, what a crazy girl. I should see want to be look like a boy. A girl should look like a girl. I was reading and saying, look, as a reader, why would a girl like to look like a boy? This is troublesome. Because if a girl starts saying, I want to be boy, I want to be boy, then we have issue. Is it further the case? We have this issue. Is it further the case, right? Maybe, may not be. Let's go on.
A rebellious phase characterized by wanting to be a freeborn Western boy.
Okay, rebellion. This writer, this narrator has rebellious nature. She says, I want to be a boy. Then she says, I want to be like that Swedish tennis player. What's his name?
Bjorn Borg.
John Borg. She says, I want to be like that boy, having strong muscles in the legs. Why would a girl desire muscles in the legs? That's masculine feature. As reading, I was in trouble while I was reading. Yes, go on. Role model. Her role model is Swedish player. And I was wondering why her father was not a role model. The question that came in my mind, look, I became a teacher because my father was my role model. And while reading her memoir, I was asking why her father could not become her role model. And I don't have answer. I don't have answer. Yes, go on.
She wanted to be like Bjorn Borg and Rod Stewart, reflects her yearning to break free from societal constraints.
She wanted to break free from societal constraints. The most important thing in this text that I found is the desire to be a free thinking individual. She says that I wanted to avoid being traditional, typical Nepali girl. What is traditional, typical Nepali girl? Lajalu, mayalu, naina bandula kind of girl. That's typical Nepali girl. Shy, submissive, obedient. Not laughing, hasmat pagli, pyar ho jayega kind of girl. Traditional, typical Nepali girl. And she says, I didn't want to be that kind of girl. Whereas the family probably wanted her to be that kind of Nepali characterization, character of Nepali girl. And she says, I wanted to be a free thinking individual. See, at the heart of this writing is freedom. Freedom. Freedom in life. Yes, go on. You have brought good points. Yes.
Yeah. And Manjushri Thapa experiences with romance and challenges she faces, including an ill-fated relationship.
Experiences, what did you say?
Experiences with romance and challenges she faces.
Okay. Tell us some experiences she had with romance. What experience she had with romance? One summer, a boy came to live in their house. 20-year-old Nepali boy. And one night, probably he got into a room, I don't know. And he fumbled her. He kissed her. She might have liked then and there, but later she realized it's not a good thing. And then? And I was wondering, when I read this scene, was wondering, yes, go on.
She demonstrates the complexities of cultural expectations and the pressures she felt to conform.
Okay, good point. Difficulties resulting from cultural expectations, and when you fail to conform the stereotype. At one point, when she has first menstruation, then the family follows Nepali tradition, and she undergoes a ritual, and then the father keeps her in the lap, and the father openly declares that from today, my child, you have become a woman, and she doesn't like this practice. Right? She doesn't like. At other point, time and again the family tells her to follow Nepali culture. And she has no desire to follow Nepali culture. Because her impression is that if you become like a Nepali girl, you won't be a free-thinking girl. So her desire is to become like boys. Why like boys? Because boys are free. Boys are free. Sometimes I watch TikTok where girls come and they say, मलाई त्यहाँ केटा हुन मन छ किन केटा हुन मन छ कस्तो फ्रीडम छ यार जे गरे पनि हुन्छ त्यसै दैट जे गरे पनि हुन्छ दैट फ्रीडम राइट I don't know, but that kind of feeling that at the heart of this text to me is the seed of freedom. Please go on.
The essay reaches its conclusion with Thapa finding a sense of liberation and acceptance of her dual identity.
Okay. She finds a sense of liberation and acceptance of dual identity. Okay, I have a question. As she grows, to solve her problem of identity, she picks up a hobby. What is the first hobby she picks up?
Right.
She becomes a painter.
Yeah.
She becomes a painter. But later she realizes that painting can't bring her complete freedom. So she becomes a writer. She becomes a writer. She studied creative writing. She taught creative writing. Today she writes. She does creative writing. And finally, she says that I wondered whether I'm Nepali or Indian. I was half Nepali, half Indian. Right? Read that point again. Read the point again.
Which one? The essay reaches its conclusion with Thapa finding a sense of liberation and acceptance of her dual identity.
Okay, sense of liberation and acceptance of dual identity. Two things.
Yeah.
So she gets liberation, in my opinion, in writing. She gets freedom in writing. When you write, you are free. You can write whatever you want. A sense of freedom. Then dual identity. And as I was reading, I imagined she must be Canadian citizen. I imagined she must be living in Canada. But when I finished reading and checked internet and found that she's in Kathmandu, I was surprised. Because whole 10 pages I'm reading, I don't like Nepali, I don't like Nepali, I don't like Nepali. And finally I see she's living in Kathmandu. And I was asking, why would she live in Kathmandu if she doesn't like Nepali society? But here you see, she has a kind of resolution to attention.
Yeah.
And she adjusts with a dual identity. And I don't know if she is Nepali citizen or Canadian, I don't know right now. Yes, what else you have to know?
Her return to using the name Manju in America, her willingness to attend Nepali gathering, and her embrace of a community of
Yes,
similar.
at one point she says, finally she attends a Dasai gathering,
Yeah.
I remember. First she hated, she avoided such gatherings. But finally, once she says that I decided to attend Dasai gathering, and then they made a group of Nepali people, and they started chatting regularly with Nepali people. In the beginning, she had no contact with Nepali, she avoided. Later she says, I became friends with Nepali people. Yes.
Her willingness to attend Nepali gatherings and her embrace of a community of similarly culturally diverse individuals reflects her growth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, of a conclusion.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well done. It's like popcorn, right? Okay. He brought a lot of points in his note. I appreciate his sincerity. He did more than my expectation. Thank you for that. Okay. I appreciate your enthusiasm. The only thing I'd like to advise you all who are going to present in future is the first one. I know the first people are always, it's difficult. The only thing I'll advise that, one sincere request to you, never come to present without reading the primary text. Consult internet. Go to ChatGPT, no problem. Go to Bing AI, no problem. Collect information, no problem. Do whatever you like, but sincerely read the prescribed text at least once or twice. Because when you don't read the text, your teacher who has read the text will put you questions from that lesson and you may not be able to answer, right? So let me see what you, okay. Intersections of Nepali and American heritage, good. Then he said, challenges having unique name, the story opens with that. Then the desire to be free-born Western boy, fine. Then romance and challenges he faces. Then acceptance of a dual identity. I'd like to talk to him before I move ahead. And a very, very honest question to you. Can you tell how did you prepare this presentation? Honestly, no problem. How did you prepare it? Where you got this information? Huh? Google, okay, fine, no problem. No problem. Write your name, okay, oh, fine. When you come to present, you will come with this kind of paper and you will have your name and I will file in my recordings to make sure you have made a presentation as an evidence. When I give you marks, I might go back to the video, I might go back to this paper and see and give you marks. Let me tell you something. This is an example of diasporic writing. A diaspora is you have a root culture and you have let's say another culture. So this writer in this text has a Nepali root culture, right? She has a Nepali family, Nepali parents. At home they speak Nepali. At home they have Nepali culture. Now outside home, in the neighborhood, in the city, town, school, she has foreign culture. Like for example, she has Canadian culture, she has American culture, she experiences that. At one point she says she lived in Sri Lanka, Elsewhere she says she also lived in Philippines. And when you see an individual experiencing multicultures, then this creates a question of identity. मुझे ये बात तुमको बताने में कोई झिझक नहीं है कि बार बार मुझे ये लगता है कि मैं भारतीय हूँ कि नेपाली हूँ। क्यों ऐसा होता है? मेरी पैदाइश भारत में हुई, मेरी परवरिश भारत में हुई, मैं पला बड़ा भारत में, मेरे बचपन के सारे साथी वहीं के थे। 20 साल 21 साल तक मैं भारत में रहा। साल में एक बार यहाँ आता था नेपाल में। जब मैं 17 साल का था तो मेरे पिताजी ने एक बार बोला कि जाओ जिला प्रशासन कार्यालय जा करके नागरिकता बनाओ। मैं हाई स्कूल पास किया था। तो जब मैं गया नागरिकता बनाने तो मुझे बड़ा आश्चर्य लगा कि ये मैं क्यों बना रहा हूँ। मैं तो यहाँ का नहीं हूँ, मैं तो भारत का हूँ, मुझे यहाँ की नागरिकता क्यों बनानी पड़ती है? लेकिन बनाया हमने क्योंकि मेरे पिताजी नेपाल से थे, हम नेपाल से हैं, तो हमने नागरिकता बनाई। अभी भी तुमसे ये बोलते वक्त मेरे मन में बारंबार लगता है कि मैं भारतीय हूँ या नेपाली हूँ, और मुझे पता नहीं है कि मैं भारतीय हूँ कि नेपाली हूँ। अगर तुम मेरा डॉक्यूमेंट देखोगे, ये जो मेरी आईडी कार्ड है, राइट, ये जो आईडी कार्ड है जो मुझे सरकार ने दिया है, इसमें सब जगह लिखा है कि मैं नेपाली हूँ, राइट। लेकिन इसको फेंक दो, मेरे मन से पूछो कि मैं कौन हूँ, तो मन कहीं बोलता है कि मैं भारतीय हूँ। What do you call this situation? You call this a problem of identity. You call a problem of split identity. Split identity. Ambivalent identity. When this writer in this text says, I'm half American, I'm half Nepali, this is ambivalence that I can understand this essay better because I have similar situation. I understand this essay better because I am in her position. Because I lived in two countries, India and Nepal, right? First 20 years in India, next 30 years in Nepal. Now I have a question, who am I, Nepali or Indian? Indian. Right? Okay, fine. Maybe you heard my Hindi, fluent Hindi, and you feel I'm Indian. तर नेपाली सुन्यो भने तिमीलाई म नेपाली हो। अनि हामी त पश्चिमको मान्छे पोखरातिरको, अनि हाम्रोमा त आइछ गइछ खाइछ भन्छन्। अझ त्यो गुल्मीतिर गयो भने त अनि त्यहाँबाट के भन्थ्यौ त नि भइरहेछ भन्छन्। When you have this dialect, you might feel I'm Nepali. It's difficult to tell who I am. And today, in the age of globalization, it's more difficult to determine people's identities. So one issue in this text is the issue of identity. And identities are created with names. And her name was given by her parents as Manjushree, a mythological character from Nepali mythology. Manjushree used her sword to carve a passage at Chobar and to let the water out of this valley, lake. Manjushree, right? Manjushree त चोबारको कसले काटेर पानी फालेको हैन? So this is a very historical name, right? Who was married to that Chinese Srangchang Gampo? Brikuti. Okay, I was mistaking. Couple of more things I'll focus on in this text. One is identity, another is sense of alienation, then nostalgia, right? Nostalgia, and then search for identity, and then then internal, external conflicts, right? Then cultural memory, and then what else? Yes, xenophobia, and then so whenever the writer in the text says that she did not like to mix with Nepali people, this is xenophobia, hating other people racially. Xenophobia. You have a racial feeling and you discriminate people racially. You hate others because they belong to other culture. Xenophobia. She says that for a long time I was not comfortable meeting Nepali people. And when I was reading this line, I was so angry with Manjushri. I was really angry. It was difficult for me to read the lines. Then identity. The text begins with that question. She is waiting for the doctor and the receptionist can't call her name properly. Manjuri, right? And if you see, the story opens with the scene in the clinic and the story ends with the same scene. In the beginning, the receptionist calls her with the name. At the end, the doctor is talking to her. And even the doctor cannot pronounce her name correctly. Right? This brings a unity in writing. Then nostalgia in different paragraphs. First, she uses present tense, describes the scene. Then from para 2 or 3, she goes to past memory. And she brings all her childhood memory, right from age 3. She talks about Kathy and Dara and all the girls and boys and life in Canada. Then she talks about life in America. She talks about embassy. Here is politics also. How there is politics? She talks about Nepali embassy in America. And she says, we were the poor people there. From American standard, my father's salary was meager, she says. From Nepali standard, it was too much. But in dollar, we didn't get much money. And we had to let's say, be spendthrift. We were poor, she says. So this makes a criticism to Nepali government, then government, monarchy and panchayat, that they could not provide enough resources to embassies in foreign countries. Then cultural memory, she tells that time and again she came to Nepal. And she writes what happened in Nepal, right? Then internal, external conflict, yes. This conflict comes as she grows because she realizes that she is willing to be like a boy. Her role model is a boy. And I was reading this line, I was wondering why this happened to her. If I meet Manjushri, I would like to put this question. Why you felt to be like a boy? One answer I have, the desire for freedom. The feeling that if you are a boy, you have more freedom than being a girl. And to some extent it's true. In Nepali case, it's even more true. Then you have search for identity. Throughout the essay, throughout the 10 pages, she is struggling one question, who she is. The biggest conflict she has is, who am I? Am I American? Am I Nepali? Am I Canadian? Am I Filipino? Am I Sri Lankan? Mostly she says, I felt I was half Nepali, half American. Half Nepali, half American. Right? Okay. So these are the characteristics of diaspora writing. So Adarsa, your job is now, you will prepare a neat note on this text. You will prepare a number of multiple choice questions based on this essay. You will prepare short answer questions and write their answers in this essay. You will prepare long answers and write their answers in this essay. You will print and you will provide a soft copy to rest of the class. It's your responsibility. So you are responsible to prepare all the notes on this essay. Others will do on other essays. And finally we'll put it together and the class will have a better note. So we are dividing responsibilities. Okay. So I stop here. We have 3 minute time. Do you have any question to ask me? Another remarkable thing I felt was, I feel like narrator. Narrator is first person singular narration because it is I who is telling us the story. Then characters, the receptionist, the doctor, Kathy, Dara, mother, father, Tom, the 20-year-old Nepali boy who kisses her, then guests who came to the embassy, there are many characters. Then context or occasion, she goes to clinic to get checked and the story opens. Narrator, who is telling the story? A female, middle-aged female we can guess. A patient, a Nepali female is telling us a story. Then another remarkable thing about nostalgia, the story switches between present, then goes to past, then again comes to present. For example, it was the early 1970s. From here, the story goes to past. And if you go down, I spent the day watching Romper Room, past. Romper Room is a serial for children. And this gives an answer, why she became like that. Then literacy, this is also a literacy narrative. A story where you tell your story about how you learn to read and write. And there is also, it is also coming of age writing. Coming of age writing is, I don't know the technical term for it. In coming of age writing, you describe how you grew up, your experiences of growing up. I don't remember right now the technical word for this kind of writing. There is a kind of writing where people describe how they grew. There's a wonderful novel, particularly for these girls to read. House on the Mango Street. Have you read? By Cisneros, Sandra Cisneros, I guess. Wonderful, simple novel written for young people like you, by young writer like you. I mean, read that in the same. House on the Mango Street. That is a coming of age novel. And if you read House on the Mango Street, you will better understand Manjushri. Because in that story also, Cisneros describes her experiences of growing up as a teenager. And I'll encourage you, keep a diary where you write weekly your experience of growing up. Okay. Then, my father, past tense, all past tense. I was untouched, past tense. My parents wanted, past tense. At school, past tense. We were, past tense. Again, past tense. Let me show you where she comes to present tense. All past tense. There is dialogue. Dialogue. Past tense. It was late 1980s. Again, past tense. So you will see that this text is a narrative. It is in narrative mode. It is written in narrative mode and it also has very good description. Particularly images. The text has mixture of narration and description. So I stop here for today. In next class, I'll move to next story and with the next presenter. So if your presentation, please, I don't remind you. I won't remind you. You become aware and prepare. Who is presenting tomorrow? Who is presenting tomorrow? Okay, get ready. And make sure that you are not absent. Make sure that you go through the text. Presenters, please go through the text. Do not make a presentation without reading the primary text. Thank you so much. Thank you.